All right, people, week 2 here in the NFL. It's time to give my game-by-game predictions. Week 1 was so dope, man. We got a lot of close games. Hopefully, we get something similar to it in week 2. Look, Sunday is creeping up on us. We got a doubleheader on Monday night. Here are my game-by-game predictions, everyone. I got the Browns over the Jets. I got the Bills over the Titans. I got the Steelers over the Patriots. I got the Raiders over the Cardinals. The Giants over the Panthers, the Lions over the Commanders, the Bengals over the Cowboys, the Packers over the Bears, the Vikings winning over the Eagles, the Seahawks winning over the 49ers, the Colts winning over the Jaguars, the Bucs over the Saints, the Ravens over the Dolphins, the Broncos over the Texans, and then the Rams over the Falcons. So now let's go over some of these, people, starting with the Browns versus Jets. This is a game where I think the Browns will win pretty easily. I'm saying like maybe they'll win like around 31-20 in this one. I think for the Browns, their run game is going to take over in this one. And look, the Jets did pretty solid defending the run versus the Ravens in week 1, but they didn't face a Nick Chubb or a Kareem Hunt or a Browns offensive line that is as good as they are. And the Ravens didn't actually run that much all over the Jets. I believe they only ran 21 times. Their leading rusher was Kenyon Drake, who had 11 carries, 31 yards. So they didn't really do all the rushing, but what the Ravens were doing over the Jets was really dominating in that passing game. And that passing defense for the Jets really did look kind of vulnerable. And I think Jacoby Brissett in this game with the offensive line that he has will have a prime opportunity to just be able to take a next step in the passing game for the Browns. He didn't look too bad last week. He obviously could have done better. In my opinion, he gets a C+ grade for his performance versus the Panthers, but I think in this game he has the opportunity to make some plays versus really a cupcake secondary that the Jets have. So also with Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, I just don't see how the Jets offensive line can stop them. I just don't see how Joe Flacco is gonna really deal also with that secondary well. Look, I have the Browns winning in this game because of their run game. I believe that their pass game will open up more this week given the Jets pass defense. And I think for the Jets, I just don't think that with the Browns pass rush and with their offensive line, I just don't see how they get that much going offensively. So I will take the Browns over the Jets. And then I'll take the Bills over the Titans. For the Bills, look, we know their passing game is the real deal. Probably the best in the league. The Titans, it's a whole totally different thing. Their passing game last week did not look very inspiring at all. They had trouble moving the ball at times. Derrick Henry, obviously he's going to do his thing, but when you're playing the Bills, you need a passing game that is consistent enough to be able to duel with them. And I just don't see how the Titans passing game can keep up with the Bills passing game. So I will take the Bills in this game over the Titans. Steelers, I'll take them over the Patriots. These are both defenses last week, look, that only allowed their opponent to score 20 points. But the difference was the Steelers won the game and scored 23 points over the Bengals. But the Patriots, man, yeah, they held the Dolphins to 20 points, but they only scored 7 points offensively. So in this game where you have two defenses who are pretty solid, I think the game is going to be decided by who can make the most plays on offense. And with the coaching staff right now in Pittsburgh and with the skill position players that they have, which I think puts them over the Patriots, I just think they make more plays offensively to win this game. And they proved to us in week 1 that they are very capable of doing that with Najee Harris, with Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, Chase Claypool, George Pickens. Look, both offensive lines, obviously iffy, but I believe that the Steelers have the playmakers to be able to get them over the hump in this game. And even though they won't have TJ Watt, I still have a lot of confidence in that Steelers secondary that forced Joe Burrow to throw 4 interceptions. And then you still got Cam Hayward on that defensive line. I'll take the Steelers here in this one just because I trust their offense more. They were less stagnant. The Patriots offense was one of the most stagnant offenses in the NFL in week 1. So I'll take the Steelers over the Patriots. Raiders versus Cardinals. Look, the Raiders to me won't have the same problems this week that they did last week, mainly because they're not facing Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. This was a Cardinals defensive line that got owned up front by the Chiefs offensive line. They had no sacks, so I think Derek Carr will be facing a little less pressure this week. Therefore, I believe that gives the pass game leeway to absolutely go off versus a Cardinals passing defense that looked absolutely cupcake versus Patrick Mahomes. And I think Derek Carr is well equipped to be able to take advantage of that with Devontae Adams. I think he'll have another game over 100 yards. I think he'll have about 2 touchdowns. Hunter Renfrow will get things going this game, and so will Darren Waller. Look, I don't think it'll be a blowout or anything. I think the Raiders win by at least 4 in this game, just because, look, they did kind of get owned by Justin Herbert a little bit last week. They performed well at the end of the game. They only allowed, I believe, 25 points to the Chargers. So I don't think Kyler Murray's going to go nuts on them. I just trust the Raiders defense more to be able to get stops versus also a Cardinals offensive line that's looking a little iffy, and you're going to have to go against Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. So look, I trust the Raiders defense more, and I think Derek Carr is going to go berserk on a Cardinals pass defense that looked trash. I'm going to just say it, they looked trash versus the Chiefs offense last week. So I will take the Raiders over the Cardinals. I'll take the Giants over the Panthers. Saquon is going to run wild on the Panthers, people. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt did it. I don't see why Saquon can't do it after he had, like, 160 yards rushing last week versus the Titans. They are going to take up time management. They are going to keep the ball in the hands of Saquon, and they are going to dominate him. This is also a team that didn't allow too much to Ryan Tannehill through the air. Look, I expect them to do the same versus Baker Mayfield, whose offensive line is very shaky. Hey man, if Saquon runs well in this game, which I think he will, I think this Giants passing game will open up. Look man, I just don't have a ton of faith in the Panthers offense, especially because that offensive line is the way it is. I will take the Giants over the Panthers to narrowly win. All right, I think the Lions get their first win over the Commanders in this one. Look, last week, DeAndre Swift ran wild. I think he ran for 144 yards on the ground. He just went bazooka, everyone. And then versus the Jaguars last week, the Commanders allowed James Robinson to have like 6 yards per carry. And then they also allowed Travis Etienne to have like 12 yards per carry. Although those two didn't run a bunch, when they got the ball, they were able to do their thing. So I think that's what happens here in this week with DeAndre Swift and this Lions run game. And I think that'll allow them to really control the ball, get an early lead. And look, defense has some concerns, but if the Lions need to do some scoring, I have optimism and faith that they can do that. They scored 35 points in a loss to the Eagles the other day. They narrowly lost, people. They narrowly lost. It came down to the wire for them. But look, I think the run game takes over here for the Lions. I think it'll be a very close game just because I'm not going to downplay what the Commanders did last weekend to the Jaguars through the air with Carson Wentz, although he did throw 2 interceptions. But hey, I think the Lions run game takes over here, and I think they win over the Commanders here in week 2. I'll take the Bengals over the Cowboys. This one is fairly easy. The Cowboys look trash with Dak Prescott. I don't expect them to look better without him. I don't think they'll be able to keep up with Joe Burrow and company over there on the Bengals offense. And look, I think Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard will be able to get off on the line and get after that Cowboys offensive line and get some pressure. So I will take the Bengals over the Cowboys. Fairly easy pick there for me. The Cowboys offense will not be able to keep up with the Bengals. I'll take the Packers over the Bears. I just like the Packers better in this one. I think their defense gets off to a good start in this game, and I think Aaron Rodgers won't have to face as much competition as he did last week, especially in the secondary. So I will take the Packers over the Bears. And then Vikings versus Eagles. Look, the Eagles versus the Lions also allowed the Lions to score 35 points. So I don't think it's going to get any better versus the Vikings. The Vikings are a passing game that really showed out last week versus a pretty good Packers secondary. And look, the Eagles also allowed DeAndre Swift to go crazy. I don't think it's looking too good, everybody. So I will take the Vikings over the Eagles. I think their offense has a chance to dominate on all cylinders. And I think, hey, I just think the Vikings also have the upper hand in the passing game. I think the Eagles will allow them to do well in the passing game. I don't have faith in Jalen Hurts and that Eagles passing game to do more than the Vikings can. So I will take the Vikings over the Eagles. I'll take the Seahawks over the 49ers, the Colts over the Jaguars, the Bucks over the Saints. Look, the Saints had a hard time on that offensive line last week with that Falcons defensive line. It's not going to get any better with that Bucks defensive line. So look, I also think the Bucks offense will perform well in this one. The Saints defense did give up some things to Darrell Patterson. to Marcus Mariota to Drake London. So I will take the Bucs over the Saints, and I think Tom Brady gets his first win over the Saints. I'll take the Ravens over the Dolphins. I think the Broncos get their first win over the Texans. I think that defense plays well, and I think the Rams get their first win over the Falcons, everyone. But tell me what you think about it all down in the comment section below. Other than that, this has been Malik Hicks, aka the Ranker of the Ultimate Sports TV, signing off. Peace out, and I'll see you on the other side.